Hello, everyone. This is, I think, the first video we're doing for, on our general podcast. I know. So much fun. And we are just here to make a few announcements. Really exciting stuff, as we're getting ready for season 3 next month. We hope you all are excited. We're excited for you guys to be having, what am I saying? We're really excited as the Christmas season is coming. Hope you all are getting prepared for your Christmases. And first of all, I want to take this moment. We, in our season 2 review, announced that Mary will sadly be leaving the Cohost team to go be working on another podcast project. Which we're so happy for, and she's going to do amazing. But that has given us the opportunity to bring a new voice on the Cohost team. And I am so excited to introduce you all. Those of you who've listened to one of our episodes have heard her, and probably you might know her, Sarah Abbey. Hi.
Hello.
We're so glad to have you.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. This is going to be a great season. And, when Mary was, when Mary said that she was not going to be able to continue, on the podcast in season 3, well, she'll come on the podcast, but not on the Co-host team. You were one of the first people that popped into my mind. And so I'm so glad that I have enjoyed getting to interact with you in different spaces and have loved some of the things that you've shared. And this has been this is going to be fun.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to make a few more announcements, and then I'm going to actually ask Sarah a few questions so that anyone who doesn't know her get to know her a little bit more. I'll be like a Meet Sarah episode. So to start off, we now that we have ended season 2, we are going to be we're really trying to do our best to improve every season. We want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you've thought so far. What are ideas that you've had? What are things that you're like, that was cool, but didn't work? We want to hear all of it and be honest. So we have created a season 2 feedback form on a Google form, which is on our social media. If you pretty much go to any of our social media, you should find it. I'm not sure on our Instagram, but on our Facebook and our Twitter, definitely. And it'll also be in the show notes for this episode. So please go there. If you can in the next week, the sooner the better. That gives us more time to read it, to evaluate your thoughts. We know that this podcast is never going to be perfect, but we always want to get better and we want to continually improve. So go there, share your thoughts as we get, into season 3. A few other stuff. Oh my gosh, I had another one that I was like, I don't need to write that one down. That happens. Right? It's the worst. My goldfish brain is getting in the way. So another one is we have a awesome new Christmas Patreon episode that we put on our Patreon site. And it was so fun. Bekah and Henry and I got to talk about all things gay Christmas, including music and Mariah Carey and Happiest Season, which came out, and also dealing with family and loneliness, fun and practical. So that was great. If you're interested in hearing that, you can go subscribe as a patron on our Patreon page, and it is there. It is a treat, and it was delightful to do. So that is another one over there. Oh, now I remember. Yay. Goldfish brain isn't destroying me yet. The other one is, as we start out season 3, we are going to be doing a live episode at QCF. Grant and I are going to be speaking with Darren Calhoun, a board member of QCF, on relationships between side A and side B Christians, the interactions we have, the struggles that we have, all the good and the bad and the ugly. We're going to talk about that. How do we improve these relationships that between side A Christians and side B Christians, and what all that can look like when queer Christians are side by side. So we're going to be doing that live at the QCF conference. It is going to be on January 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you are planning to register for QCF, please go do so. We would love to have you there. Obviously that episode will be posted later on, but we would love to have you there, get your interactions and all of that. They have also created a discount code, Side B 2021. Can't believe it's 2021, but yes, 2021.
Oof, for real.
I know. Whew. Hopefully it's something better than 2020. Gosh. And if you use this discount code on on anything excluding the student pass, you'll get 10% off the virtual all access, because remember, this is a whole complete virtual conference. It's going to be fun, interesting. We would love to have you there with us. Come join and be a part of that episode. Yes, so those are my announcements that I got. And now let's dive into like getting to know Ashley a little bit. Oh my gosh, Ashley. Sarah, what did I just do? You want to know why I was just thinking that? Freudian slip, because I was just thinking about whether or not to mention that Ashley is, I'll go ahead and mention it now that I mentioned her name. Gosh. Ashley is going to be taking a few months off of season 3. Still on the co-host team, but going to take a few months off because she just had a baby. So
he's a cutie.
He is a cutie, and so we are so happy for her. But yeah, she will be taking a few months off, but she will be coming back. So if at the beginning of season 3 you're like, "Where's Ashley?" Don't worry, she's coming back. Now, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi. So, Sarah, some people have they heard from you on the panel we did on race and queerness, but obviously that's a panel of 4 people, so we didn't get to know you too well. I guess just to start with a question we normally ask everyone when they come on as a guest, but a good question to start with is, I guess, how do you identify, and can you tell us a little bit about how you've come to where you are in reconciling your faith and sexuality?
Yeah, of course. I identify as queer, to be a little bit more specific, lesbian, demisexual. I started reconciling my faith and sexuality in high school as an ally. I was not personally identifying with anything. I was just really passionate about queer inclusion in the church. I wrote my senior thesis on it in high school. It was something that was very intellectually interesting for me, but not something that I engaged personally at all. And then I went to college, and my first semester, one of my friends just straight up asked me if I was asexual, kind of out of the blue, very randomly, definitely not something that I would recommend doing to other people. But that kind of sent me on, and I started exploring that, and then was like, I do not want to talk to Jesus about this. This is very overwhelming. Nothing in my life will change. I'm not having this conversation. That was my first year at college. And then the spring of my second year, all of my friends started coming out to each other. And so I was constantly in these conversations with these people who were trying to figure out how, what is this attraction that I'm feeling? How do I reconcile it to my faith? And just being in those conversations all the time very quickly became convicting that I cannot tell my friends to talk to Jesus about this and walk with them through it and not do it for myself. And so that's kind of how I began the process of reconciling my faith and sexuality. And so I did a lot of reading, and I think it was nice because I was so passionate about high school. I kind of had the theological framework in place, and so it was a lot more of reconciling the emotional experience and coming out to my mother and just those kinds of things more so.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I'm always interested in learning more, especially about the asexual, demisexual kind of experience. Do you think that played a major role in kind of why maybe it was more into college before you realized kind of more, oh wait, what is this, and how Because I don't know, what was that? Do you think that played like a major part in that part of your story?
I do. I really do. I think it was a lot easier in high school to just be like, I care more about my career. I grew up
Mm.
in like predominantly conservative homeschool spaces. And so I was pretty liberal at the time. I mean, relatively for conservative
Yeah.
Texas. And so it was just, I was very determined, like, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to get out of state. And so very focused on those kinds of things. And I think being demisexual allowed me to ignore that attraction and like not have conversations about it because it just wasn't something that was ever present in the way that it is for people
Hmm.
more on the allosexual spectrum. But I think in coming out to myself, it just made it a lot more confusing because attraction is something that I experience so rarely and so sporadically that figuring out, okay, like I felt this one time, but also in an aggregate, like just I think grappling with those experiences was really hard. And there's just not a lot of literature in general about the ACE spectrum and about like what those experiences are. So yeah, it definitely contributed to why I
Mm.
came out when I did. And I think that for me, knowing myself as demisexual was almost more of a revelation than knowing myself as queer. Like queer things made sense, but recognizing I was demi was like, oh, now
Yeah.
everything
It
has
just,
become.
yeah. That would totally make sense of like, especially being on the A spectrum with identities like lesbian or gay or queer, like sometimes, or anywhere on the queer spectrum. Um, it can almost be like, wait, I had this attraction this one time. Should this really be where I'm like focusing my entire, identity around this
Yeah.
one attraction
Yep.
that was sexual or something? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
really glad. Well, thank you for sharing about that. Cause yeah, I think that the Demi and Ace, experience is definitely something, I'm really glad that you shared about that. And, I'm really looking forward to hearing more about your experiences related to being Ace and Demi within the queer experience, as we go forward into this, because we definitely
Yeah. Yeah.
need to talk more about that.
It's
Yeah.
definitely one that I'm still learning about.
Aren't we all learning about our experiences?
For real. Constantly.
Just continuously. Yeah. So yeah,
Mm.
I mean, I would love to hear more, when I asked you to be on the co-host team. Um what did you think? What are you thinking about being a co-host? What are your thoughts on this whole
I
thing?
was so shocked. I was so shocked. I read your message and was like, wait, does Josh know he's talking to me? Oh my goodness, what is happening? Um, yeah, and I'm so excited. I think I love the other co-hosts, and so many of them have contributed. I think I talked about this on my episode, like to my life and my growth and my knowledge of myself and God and my sexuality. And so I'm really excited.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be um really great. One of the things that we has been like a goal with our co-host team is just being able to, one of the reasons we've always wanted to try and keep it half men, half women, because obviously it's like that should be how it is. Um, and being able to bring people that have different perspectives and different experiences, related to the queer experience or related to gender experience, or related to how they've come about forming their relationship between their sexuality and their faith. And yeah, I think, like I said earlier, I know as we've interacted in side B spaces, I have always been loved many of the things that you've shared. And I was like, wow, this girl has got some wisdom for her years. So, and um, that's awesome. And I want to hear more of that. And uh, oh gosh, I was going to say something else and it just blanked. Again, goldfish brain. Maybe it'll come back to me in like 2 minutes.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah, that is that. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 22.
Okay, 22. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because we have a common friend around that you guys are around the same age. I forgot.
Yep.
Awesome,
Yep.
great. Well, I mean, is there? What are some like? Give us 3 fun things, like random interesting facts
Ooh.
about yourself.
I thought about one this morning because I anticipated you asking this question. A fun pandemic fact about me is
Okay.
that I've started listening to the sibling rivalry podcast with Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange every single night before I go to sleep. I fall
Oh,
asleep to them, and that has been it's been so fun because I fall asleep laughing. They're always doing mess, like it's a great time. So that's one. It also became my podcast of the year because I listened to like 60 episodes over the course of the last 6 months. So
yeah.
that was wild. I'm the oldest of five. That shapes a lot of the way that I engage the world.
I am
Yeah.
very interested. We need to share experiences because I'm the youngest of 5.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's wild. My younger sister, I'm genuinely scared, the youngest, for when she's older because she is the sassiest and like the most shady out of all of us, and she's 11. And so I can only imagine.
Look at me. Yeah, I know. Well, okay, so this is a very intriguing question that I have for older siblings versus younger siblings.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on the older brother in the movie Onward? Did you see the movie Onward?
I don't think I saw the movie Onward.
Oh, okay. I just remember watching this movie. You should watch it and
Yeah,
then
it's on my list.
examine your perspective as an older sibling because I watched it during quarantine with my 3 best friends. And there's this scene where like the older sibling is I'm trying to there is a scene where the older sibling does something to the younger sibling. I won't go into detail so that I'm not going to spoil it for people because it is still this year, so I don't want to like spoil that.
That's fair.
Um, but there's a scene where the older sibling does something to the younger sibling, and I was so mad. I was like, "That is not cool." And everyone else in my group was like, "No, like I would totally do that." And I was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And I realized they're all the oldest sibling in their family, and
Oh,
I'm the youngest.
interesting.
And
Okay.
I have noticed this whole entire thing of like when I've asked people about it, if they're like on the younger side of their sibling group, they're more like
Mhm.
me, where they're like, "That is not cool. That is not okay to do." And the older
Yeah.
siblings like, "Yeah, that's fine."
Oh, I'm so intrigued. Okay.
Yeah, I
Now
can
I'm getting
tell.
on there.
Yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on that, but because older, younger, especially of 5, would be really interesting to hear.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and well, I guess that was 2. Do you have another third one?
Oh, what's another fun fact about me? Ooh. I've decided I need a closet renovation. That was one of my reflections from today. I have very few pieces in my closet that actually reflect like how I want to present to the world, and so I think I hopefully will be finishing my semester at school tomorrow or late today, and then that will be the project to get like
Oh,
some Pinterest boards and like what is the vision, where are we going, kind of
yes.
things going.
Love this.
There,
Related to your clothing in your closet or just actually
mhm.
renovating your closet itself?
Clothing in my closet.
Okay. All right. Clarifying. And that sounds fun. I love clothes shopping.
I'm very excited.
Yes. That's great. Do you like clothes shopping or no?
I have mixed feelings. I like doing it when I am doing it for the pleasure of doing it. I don't like doing it when I'm going in to find a specific thing and like especially with thrifting and then like sizing gets weird and I often have a very clear idea of how I want to feel, but not specifics for what I want that to look like. So it makes shopping with me a nightmare.
Hmm. I get that. I understand. Yeah. Yeah, I used to not really be great at clothes shopping until I went down to Colombia, and Colombians are very big into fashion, especially European
Mm,
fashion. And so, as I learned how to embrace my Colombianness while there, I found a new sense, like passion
I love
for
that.
clothes shopping. Yeah. Yeah, because I had made a goal when I went down there was I wanted to look like I dress very Colombian when I'm in Colombia,
Mm,
and just because normally with then I don't stand out.
Yeah.
But I've now come to love Colombian fashion, and then the style of the way that Colombians shop for clothes, it's become fun. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Well, thank you for doing this. We're really I'm just really glad to have you on the co-host team as we go into season 3 on inclusion and identity and inclusion.
Yeah,
We're going to have a lot of good conversations.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Thank you all for listening or watching, whether on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, wherever you're at. Remember, if you love this podcast, a few things you can do. First of all, you can subscribe wherever you're at. And you can review us on Apple Podcasts. That helps more people find us. That helps it appear on more people's feeds. So subscribe wherever you listen to, review us if you listen on Apple. That definitely helps the podcast. Again, if you're interested in our newest Patreon episodes, go over to patreon.com, sign up. We're also going to be having some new tiers coming out on Patreon for listening. We're going to be doing a Patreon Discord chat for all of our patrons to be able to interact more. Yeah, it's going to be really great. If you're interested in getting involved in our Discord server, it's going to be $1 a month. If you go on and you were to add on, this will be coming up in January. So if you go now in December, it's not going to be there in our Patreon page, but wait for January. And then you'll be able to sign up. You will get a link. We'll get you into the Discord server as a way to just build more community in that way. We'll still maintain our $5 tier where you'll get into the Discord server as well as getting our monthly bonus episodes. And then we will also be creating a $10 tier where you get all of the above, plus being able to interact more into getting to vote on some episode themes or topics, getting to give in questions for episodes, giving your input on our upcoming themes for seasons, all of that different kind of stuff. Be able to get more hands-on into some of the podcasts. So thank you everyone for following, for listening, for doing all of this. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to season 3. And since this episode was a little bit shorter than normal, we thought we would go ahead and use up a little bit of the rest of the time to give you a view of our latest Patreon episode that we did, A Gay Christmas, with Bekah, Henry, and I, where we talked about all things gay and all things Christmas. And so check this out, and we hope you enjoy it. If you like it, and if you want to hear more, go subscribe at patreon.com. And we'll see you over there. Bye, everyone.
Woo! Bye.
We're here.
Woo! Yeah.
Welcome to the first ever Life on Side B Christmas episode.
Merry
Christmas.
You know, yeah, we're all trying to don our gay apparel right now, but it's really just Christmas. I had told Bekah and Henry before we got on that I had gotten a gay sweater, and thinking it was a gay, ugly Christmas sweater, and it didn't arrive in time, but probably also for the best.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for Christmas?
No trees are up. I was like making breakfast this morning, and I was like, I don't even have a tree up. I have some light decor sprinkled around, and I'm like, if I don't do it by tomorrow, then I'm not gonna have a tree up this year. But and I really think like all I want to do is just sit at my house and eat. So
that sounds
not
delightful.
right.
That sounds like a 2020 Christmas.
Yeah, I haven't done any Christmas shopping. I'm just like, whatever. I did order Christmas cards to mail out, so I'm going to mail them out this morning.
Oh, good.
So, yes. Did y'all fill out y'all's addresses for me? I think y'all did.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll be getting one. So.
Yeah, I'll be sending New Year's cards. I just bailed on the entire idea of Christmas. It's like, I'm just going to do a Happy Holidays theme. So,
Yes. Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, again, it's 2020. No one expects anyone to be on top of anything right now.
I'd much rather celebrate ushering in 2021 than commemorating much of anything in this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
So we're actually going to start out with a question that I didn't put on the list, Henry.
Okay, what is the question?
I was working on questions last night, trying to figure out ones. And a side beer was visiting me, helping me. And I think we came up with like the perfect question, but I was a little bit nervous of putting it on. But then I decided, what the hell?
Oh, gosh, that's making me nervous. Oh, God.
Which co-host would you pick as the angel on your Christmas tree?
Who's the most wholesome co-host? Yes.
Wholesome is not where I was going with that.
Maybe the devil on the Christmas tree. Ooh,
I was thinking Mary, right?
They could just be the star, you know?
Well, I guess if we're excluding ourselves, then I would say Grant.
Yeah.
That's who I said.
It's unanimous.
Well, let me ask you, do you guys do a star or angel on your Christmas tree?
We grew up doing both. And so in my adult life, I don't know if I put either one up, but I know we grew up doing either or. So
okay.
Yeah, I usually have a star, but the tree that I have right now is, well, it's 7.5 feet, and I moved from a house with 10-foot ceilings to one with 8-foot ceilings, and there's currently no room.
There's like no space at the top.
Yeah, there's no room for the star at the top of the tree right now, so we have a naked tree top at the moment.
Hey,
I know.
Our tree has lights on it, nothing else right now.
Yes. Becca, what are you and the kids doing for Christmas this year?
Very low key. We're just going to do Christmas morning here at the house with my roommate and the kids, and then we'll be going to my brother's house for lunch with the family. Everybody lives in town, so we all have kind of been in each other's bubble for the last few months, helping out with kids in quarantine and stuff like that. So we'll be going over to my brother's house and watching the cousins go nuts opening presents from the grandparents for the afternoon.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, super chill.
Yeah. Henry, you said you're going to be doing more of Christmas at home?
I think probably go to Joel's parents' house, and then probably after that, my sister and I she'll probably either go with me or me, her, and her daughter, and Joel will just be at my house. So just like low key. All my friends are having babies, like literally like my close guy friends. There's like 5 that I'm really close with. 4 of them became first-time dads in the past 3 weeks. So, So, and then one of them, my best friend John, we usually do the holidays with him and his wife and their family. But with babies and COVID and whatnot, I think it's a smaller year this year, which honestly I'm actually fine with. So,
yeah, that's kind of like my family. We normally have a week long of Christmas where there's an event every day. So we start out with like a grandma cookie bake, like where all the grandmas get together and with the grandkids. And then like we do a progressive dinner and then New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve and all this stuff. And it is definitely going to be different this year. We are actually, whereas rather than doing the whole extended family, because my whole extended family lives in the same town.
Oh my gosh, Josh, to interject in that real quick, what was y'all's holiday card this year? Because like literally, the one from last year lives in my head rent free with all that camo. It lives in my head.
Right.
Our holiday card actually this year is pretty tame. During COVID, we had my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. And so we just took a family picture then. But it's so their anniversary is in August, like beginning of August. And because of COVID, we planned a whole kind of like COVID gathering where people could do a drive-by. And it was in a park. Worst decision ever. Parks in August in Florida are the worst.
Yeah.
And so in our picture, we're all just drenched in sweat.
That sounds so humid. That sounds
terrible. That's terrible.
Thankfully, the photographer like photoshopped it perfectly, so we just look glistening, just
Okay.
glistening in our sweat. But yeah, our picture this year is pretty tame. And then in my parents' house, they have our big picture, and then they have pictures of each of my siblings with their families. And all of my siblings have families, so they have them and their things. And mine, I used to have it with my dog, so I wasn't just randomly me just standing there, like, hey. And then my dog died last year, and so I'm like, great, this year's picture, like, what am I gonna do?
Oh my God.
So I got to see Greg Webb, and so Greg Webb did a photography, session with me, got me my picture,
Yes.
ironically with my
everybody's session. Okay.
He does love it. Switching topics a little bit, did you guys watch the movie The Happiest Season?
I did.
Or Happiest Season?
Yes, I watched it last weekend.
Henry, did you watch it?
I saw that question come in, and oh Lord, I don't even want to share my commentary. I have not watched it and will not watch it. Not for the content, but because I despise. I don't even know her, but I find it so hard to watch Kristen Stewart act. It's impossible. It's like
go ahead.
I mean, it's like. And the thing is, she's like really in the past 5 years, her craft's actually gotten really respectable. Like, she's not a bad actress. She's really not. I just have a really hard time watching her act. I have the same thing with Elliot Page. I have a really hard time watching Elliot act. And so I don't know what's from the time of when they were coming up in the industry that the characters they portrayed were super annoying to me. Now that anything they do, I cannot participate.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Kristen Stewart either. When I saw that she was in it, and she's not queer, is she? Or she's straight?
She might be bi. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, because that was my first thing I was thinking. I was like, wait, are they having a straight girl play a lesbian? I don't know, but I wouldn't be the first time in Hollywood, But and I was like, Kristen Stewart. I am not a fan of Kristen Stewart. So I've never seen Twilight. And
you're not missing out on much.
That's what I feel. I feel she butchered Snow White, but the queen, who played the queen in Snow White and the Huntsman? Does anyone remember?
Angelina Jolie.
No, it wasn't Angelina Jolie. That was Maleficent.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
I can't remember who it is. She also played in The Italian Job, but she was amazing.
Charlize Theron.
I think that's it. Yes.
Yes, that's her. Oh my God, phenomenal actress. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. She saved that movie from Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart went in there to try to destroy it, and she came in and was like, no, this movie is worth saving. Yes. But I actually really enjoyed Happiest Season. I was shocked. I think Dan Levy kind of also helped in it because he was but I do have to say, the person who took, for me, we won't share details for anyone who hasn't seen it, but Bekah, you said you saw it. Wasn't the sister amazing?
She was absolutely my favorite character. Yeah. I mean, just anybody that can walk in and say, this is who I am, quirks and weirdness and all, and I love myself. That's my roommate and I were both like, she is so weird, but the longer this movie goes, the more that I like her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like my new life phrase is, I have no secrets, but I am an ally. Yeah. No, it was.
It's not my computer. I don't know. I keep hearing something, and I'm just like,
oh. I don't know. Hopefully I'll have to check on the audio when I check it.
Okay. Maybe I'm just hearing things in my head.
Okay. So far on mine, I don't. But doesn't mean that you're wrong. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, with Happiest Season, I thought since it's a Christmas gay movie that came out, and Becky, you were talking about the article that you read about the gay movies coming out this year.
Yeah, that how many of them were coming out this year, and it's it was kind of tongue in cheek talking about how we've jokingly achieved basic straight status, that they are just benign and boring and warm-hearted, feel good, just like every other Lifetime Hallmark Christmas movie that's out there, and establishing that type of normalcy, I think is really kind of cool, that it's just no big deal anymore. There were a lot of things to see it from a gay perspective, like parts of it, especially like watching Happiest Season, there were so many things that I thought, oh girl, like you need to run. And part of that is just that I'm a little older. I have a little more life experience. And I was like the meme that was on Facebook a while back about somebody knitting you a scarf out of all the red flags that they were handing you. My roommates were like, girl, run. And we were like secretly kind of hoping that one of them would end up with one of the other characters in the movie. I was like a breakup Christmas movie. Because really, I'm there for Mary Steenburgen and Aubrey Plaza. Like, I could care less about Kristen Stewart, and I never disliked Mary Steenburgen in anything she's ever done, ever. And so it was just going to be fun. But yeah, totally cheering for like the main character breakup and like going, yeah, it was typical like gay complexity and a little bit of drama. But overall, it was a fun, like, Friday night weekend watch.
Oh my gosh.
I have to go back to, I'm trying to fix this light here. There we go. Can somebody please send me that meme? I am dying just at the thought of how true that is.
Yes.
It's like you could knit a scarf from all the red flags.
Oh my gosh, no. I remember that's how I felt watching that movie, Happiest Season. Like when she gets to the point where she's looking at the Uber and it says $1,000, and I'm like, that's worth it. Yeah. Go, leave, run. Oh the $1,000 Uber is worth the trip. Get out.
Okay, I need to watch this then. I love watching people learn toxic lessons. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, though, I think that's the question at the end is, was it right how it ends up? And so that's where I think then sometimes think like, should they, all of those things. But yeah, there's definitely some toxic lessons in this movie. But yeah, I would say the thing that I really honestly loved about it was actually the conversation. And this is going to be spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to have any kind of spoilers for this movie. Like, fast forward a few minutes in this video or audio. But there's a scene when one of the main characters, Kristen Stewart's girlfriend, is like, can't come out to her parents, and Kristen Stewart's like really upset. And I love Dan Levy's speech to her of like, there are all of these different experiences of coming out to your parents. Ones of getting kicked out, ones where your parents love you, and there's everything in between. And we all experience similarly that moment right before you utter those words, and no matter what your situation is, you never know what comes after those words because you can't take it back, and I thought his explanation of the process of coming out was so beautiful and like so real. So yeah, it was good. Henry, you should watch it and then tell us what you think, even with Kristen Stewart.
That seems like I need to add to my watch list for the weekend.
Your best Kristen Stewart, watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Well, Merry Christmas, guys, and we'll be back for season 3. Okay.
Season 3. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Take care.